How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all cranked up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Chris Bachalo. If you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. Is it Bachalo? Bachalo? Comments below. Let me know. He is a wonderful comic book artist. I really like his style. I feel like he has almost a mix of kind of Jamie Hewlett sensibilities with kind of a Mobius Miyazaki-ness to his lines as well. There's just something really lovely about his work. So, and that's some of it. Other stuff is going to be very like high comic book illustration style, but I tend to like his more sketchy kind of work. But like I said, he's got a really creative, imaginative mind, and this is some of the stuff that I think is really just great, really loose, but really gets that expression across and very capturing of emotions and expressions really well in that kind of loose sense. And this is, like I said, I always tend to like the more loose sketchbook style work rather than necessarily this one. I really love the way the teeth are, look almost like a mountain. Beautiful stuff. But yeah, like I said, he's just a wonderful artist and a phenomenal mind. I love this one right here. I think this was really great. Just a splash of color, and the color's kind of loose there too. And I love how this is something that I don't tend to do very much in my work. That it's been something that kind of toy with is where you kind of render out one part and then dull out the rest. As you can see, like this part of the head is really focused, and this part there's hardly any structure to, or you'll see like certain parts where there's a lot of detail and other parts where there's less. And I tend to try and make everything have kind of the same amount of detail, and I think that sometimes could be a mistake because then it's where you're focusing the eye on, and I think he does that really well to get the viewer to know what's important to focus on and to leave those details out sometimes. It's part of that keeping it simple and keeping the focus where you want, but I think he does that wonderfully. Again, just gorgeous stuff. And I will throw a link in the description below if you guys want to check out more of his stuff as well. This is a great one there too. But I did want to share a quote with you guys, which is something that I found from him, that he said, "I do believe in the magic that goes into creating something wonderful." And I think there's one aspect that we don't really talk about very much. It's not studying or learning. It's not effort. It's not even repetition or any of that kind of stuff. But it's the little bit of magic that is with any sort of creative endeavor when you're in that sweet spot where everything's just kind of clicking and you don't really have control over that, and you just try and hope that you get into those spots. And that is a little bit I guess magical would be a great way to say it. And I think the more that you kind of try and clean your mind and clean your body of negative stuff, or at least stuff that would be distractions that would keep you from trying to achieve those states, which is kind of weird, and it sounds kind of out there, but I think the more you get into creativity or doing something that uses your imagination or your things that aren't just structured, follow step by step, but you really have to push yourself, you find that there becomes this other quality that you want to have the rest of your life in line, so there's not a distraction from putting out your best stuff that you can and getting into those safe spots, when you're and that's not to say sometimes emotion helps. Artistic stuff, I think, more so in performance, really, than in creation. I think emotion comes out and is good for that. But in creating, I think it's good to try and pull a lot of emotion out of that so that you can just focus on creating rather than being frustrated at whatever's going on in life, or being happy with whatever's going on in life, so you're not really worried about making something good. But it really is magic. And it seems silly to say, but there is that sometimes they call it the X factor, or the the thing that makes people drawn to people as well, that little bit of something extra that you can't really put a name on, but you just know it when you see it. And it's tough because I think no matter how much you try or you push yourself and everything, you have to have a little bit of that magic. And I think that's something we all need to remember, that there is a little sense of wonder and magic in using your imagination and creating stuff. And I like it. I tend to look at that as a positive, as something fun. But I'm getting rambly, so let's go ahead and get into some animation. This is a Hulk rig. You can grab it over at Creative Crash. And if you're not familiar with what we'll be doing for the rest of the video, so we give ourselves 48 frames, give or take. Tend to be more liberal with that lately with the last few ones that we've done. And I go off and I find a rig that I've never used before. It's a free resource for you guys to play around with as well, and we kind of go from there. A little bit of talking through the process, or talking about something to do with the creative life in general, and just hang out with me while I animate. Hopefully the main goal of doing these videos each and every day is to in some regard leave you guys more encouraged and inspired to go off and make your own stuff each and every day, and feel like you have another buddy with you there in the art day, struggling at the same time, or sharing in your successes. And anytime you need to, feel free to shoot me a message or send me a comment or anything if you need another little dose of motivation or encouragement, or you need an extra set of eyes on anything as well. I try to be good about getting back to comments fairly quickly and everything too. So let's go ahead and get into some animation. I feel that I'm just Mr. Chatty Cathy today. So that is not a name that I'd ever wanted to have, by the way, Mr. Chatty Cathy. So I was thinking for this one, we'll do kind of a mix of like a run walk cycle kind of a thing. And we'll try and keep the hands planted, but we'll have to see what we can do with all of that here. So let's try and get a good storytelling pose. Let's drop the shoulders here as well. There is a little bit of lag with this rig too, so that's something we're going to have to be aware of, but I want to drop the shoulders here a little bit. What do we do here? Minus 32, 35. Try and keep it, doesn't have to be exact, but around the same area. And let's bend the spine here a little bit more. Just a little bit. I want to bring the neck up. Try and create a good storytelling pose here. Probably push that up a little bit more. Okay. Bring that forward again here. Try and flat it out against the ground if we can here. Are we getting this right? It seems like there's a little, it's not as, let's see if we can zero it out. No. It is on and off, but it seems like okay. Seems like there's something else that's helping it a little bit more. So let's try and get that. In here a little bit better. seem to want to let me get the pose that I want here, which is unfortunate. So let's keep tweaking if we can here. What is it, buddy? You're fine. Okay, let's zero it out again. See if we can't start over here. Find something a little better. Get the hand in relatively the place we want. Let's just move on to the feet for a little bit here. Tweaking some other stuff that we know we can get something a little bit better on. We'll push those inward a little bit more. I guess if we can't do that, we could at least, I would like to have the hands go flat, but if we can't have them go flat, then we'll do knuckles, which is okay. We can do that. It's going to be better than looking janked like it is right now. And we'll use that controller here. We'll grab all the B's and C's here. We'll bend those in. Oof, what's going on with that finger there? Let's maybe do it this way instead. That looks kind of funky there. And so we want to give it a little bit more here. I'd rather use the, no, see, okay, let's go take a couple steps back here. Let's grab this one again. Let's just grab all the C's here. We could bend those up, right? Something's with the index here. Okay, we'll just leave that. Index kind of alone there. That finger feels like it's a little janky. Okay. Bring the pinky in a little bit here. Bring the ring finger in a little bit. Gonna try and get the index a little bit more here. And let's see, is there a spin? Pull that in a little bit. Maybe we'll let the pinky go out a little bit more. Ring as well. Try and get it as flat as we can there. It's not perfect, but at least it's better than what we were getting before. Get a little bit of rotate here, there. And let's look at the hand pose here as well. There's the finger controllers. Didn't I just have those? Here we go. Hey, let's try doing on this side. Maybe there's a little bit better here. And we'll push out the A's a little bit. Bend in the B's. Okay, maybe we're just bending the C's. Why did this go like this here? Okay. Hey, let's look at the index. We need to go a little bit lower. keep tweaking it till I get something that I like here. Yeah, let's look at the ring, pull that in a little bit. Bring those fingers in a little bit more. Let the pinky go back out a little bit here. Do a little bit of pull in on those fingers there. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now, let's look at the hips here. Let's bring them down a little bit more. See, this is what I was afraid of. Hands are not really sticking in IK as much as I would like them to be. And let's keep bringing that back a little bit here. Bring the feet back out a little bit. Alright, we'll start with something like that. It's not perfect. Is there a elbow here? Okay, no. Nope. So no elbow. I'm sure we'll find it somewhere. This is probably a knee. These are probably the elbows here. Okay. Let's go and bring those down a little bit. And pull back a little bit more here. And bring that in. Okay. Finally, we have something we can start with. So let's go ahead and save our file here. And we are using Autodesk Maya 2014 for today's video. And let's start building this thing now. Finally, hour later. Let's turn everything off except for our NURB curves, our NURB surfaces, and our polygons. We at least have a pose we can work with. And I think we're going to work on kind of 10s here. So that'll probably put us at 60, I think. And let's see. And we'll go ahead and set our first key there and everything. And then we'll want to get our feet forward here, and our hands back there. So that means we'll need to go out a little bit further on our hands. Again, we're just kind of roughing this in for right now. It doesn't have to be perfect. We do want to make sure that we go back here. And then we'll just vary between those two. Okay, and we'll look at the feet there. And then we need to get everything up off the ground here at one point so we can actually feel like so what we might need to do is push everything back 5 frames here. So let's go Window, Animation Editors, Graph Editor, and then go here 5, grab everything and push it 5 here. Alright, let's try it one more time here. Grab everything, go to frame 5, and we'll push everything we have. We want to push that to 5 here. Let's see. Alright, and then we'll want to start off then something where it's up in the air here. So we can get that up off the ground position. And this will be down further. And then 20 will be up again. And down again. These hands are gonna be a bummer here if we can't really lock them in as tight as we need to. Might have to do those pretty close to on 2s or something then. I'm gonna go back again. So let's see. Alright, and let's clean up our Y's a little bit more. And remember that this is a little bit laggy here, so. But right now we just want to build the foundation for the idea of it before we get into really any nuances here. Okay. We'll wanna grab these up and rotate them back a little bit. Okay, let's make sure we zero those out here. We don't need that going. I think ideally we'd want to push these up right here. So let's drop these back again down to 0. Yeah, that's starting to feel about right. Rotate them back, but I still want to get that frame up so I can really get everything here. And down there. And up here. And down there. And up here. And down there. Okay, let's look at the translate Y on these ones. So I want to delete the translate Y there. Okay, make sure we grab both of them here. Okay, delete the translate Y there so they start coming up. Make sure that we still get that up position where the hands and the feet are up at the same time. cycle back in. And then we go back to where we started at the beginning. So it would be much easier if I didn't have to do a cycle here. Is have them come up and down and do that. Have them go back here. Okay. Keep forgetting that we can't really flatten them out. These guys, they don't really lock into the ground, so it's kind of unfortunate. Then we want to go back to here, there, there, here, there. Okay, so you have to do an extra key in there. Alright, now let's look again at the feet here. So, maybe we should push the feet forward here a little bit more. Let's see. Up and down's working okay. I think it's just the translate Z I want to clean up a little bit more. So this is the furthest back that's going to get, right? So it should be. No. Okay, we need one here. And this should be further back there. And they cycle back to somewhere here. Okay. And this should be maybe a little more forward on these ones. And I think I want to pull the translate Y up a little bit higher here. Bring that higher there. Here, bring it higher again. And here, bring it higher again. Okay, still building just on the foundational base of this walk. Alright, so I'm going to do a quick play blast and just see if the timing and everything is working. Okay, I'm still getting a little bit of lag, but I think the overall timing is working in there. Okay, just want to see if that would start to work here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do a little bit of rotate X back here. keep my stuff clean while I'm at least building everything here. And let's bring that back here. That up there. 2 frames and we'll zero it out. Okay. Let's look at these guys here. And one thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go try and keep it flat on the ground there. So it doesn't dig too deep. But I'm not going to worry too much about that because we're still going to do stuff with the chest. I kind of want to build that in just while I work here. It's just distracting me for right now. Okay, and let's work here. Delete that one. Okay. Let's go ahead and maybe push it forward a little bit. Let's go do the whole thing. I wish I could lock in those hands a little bit more. Well, let's see if we can do a little bit of that. Back a little bit here. Forward a little bit there. Back a little bit here. Forward a little bit there. Back a little bit there. And then zero that out again. Okay, and let's look at the hands and let's clean up these positions, I believe, right? These are fine, but these ones, let's go. We should either push them forward more or pull them back more. And then we want to go, what, 20 frames from here, so it should be 25 is right there, and then 20 frames from there should be 45. I don't think we get back there, can we? Okay, starting to get there, and let's look at the rotates here. Do some rotate. Maybe we'll rotate it up here. Oof, duh. I want to get rid of the stuff here if I can. Let's delete that. Delete that. This jaw is all wonky. Put it here and zero it out. Zero it out. There we go. Okay. Set that. Just distracting with those on there. Okay. What were we looking at? We're looking at the rotation, I believe. So we rotated that that way. Bring it back. Sensitive controller, this one is. What about 49? I think I said somewhere around there. Okay. And then go back up again here. messing with everything else, so I'm just going to delete those. Rotate X's here. We'll just go back to what we started with. I think this was at about 49. Come on. Okay. Undo this one. I just wish we could really lock in those hands. That would make everything a little bit easier, but that's okay. So let's do a playlist and just see where we're at here. Alright, it's okay. A little bit better than I was thinking it was going to look, but it still needs a lot of work. Gotta figure out how I can loosen up that back without having to just do tons and tons of counter animating. Okay, so let's try doing this guy. So I'll walk in here. Weren't we doing this was a down position? I think we were. So let's push that down in, so like that. And then 45 back. Maybe we could pull these in a little bit more to start with here. So we can get a little more. Let's also push these guys back a little further. 15, next one will be what, 35, and then 55. Okay. I do want to make sure that trying to stay planted on the ground there. So we'll go back in and check on 30 as well, make sure that's on the ground. And 50 as well, make sure that stays on the ground. Okay, let me get a little bit better arc through there. And let's look at those feet again. A little bit higher overall throughout there. And then look at the rotate X's here. I want to go a little bit more there. Delete that there. We'll go 30. 5 and then 25, push it a little bit more. 1, 2. Yeah, I want to keep a flat here, so zero that out. And go a little bit further there. And 1, 2. Okay. That's about right, right? Yeah, just have an extra key in the end there. Okay. And now let's do a little bit on the toes. So you do, what's that tap here? You drag it down at 10. 30 and at 50. We'll lift it up at 15 and 35. this in and clean that up a little bit more in our graph editor. And we'll kind of leaf through there and see how that feels. Okay, and let's look at the hands here now. So like here we could go rotate them out. Rotation of these hands is not my favorite either. I guess I'll do that just to build it. Oh, see, it's not great there. Okay, so a couple frames before, grab both of them and rotate just up slightly. And then 17, we'll rotate them just back slightly here. Okay. So what's that? 5. So that would be 25. So at 23, we'd want to mimic that one, and at 43, and then at 17, so that would be 37. Bring that back, and then 57. Just loosen up those hands a little bit more. Okay, so let's do another play blast of that and see how we're doing here. One thing I'm thinking too is I want to push the translate Z a little bit further back to start off with, just to kind of balance it a little bit more. Okay, and let's do another play blast. Alright, we're getting somewhere. It's not perfect yet. Still a lot of work to go in, but at least it's starting to come together a little bit. Still gotta loosen up that back somehow. We'll find a way. Okay, so let's see. What can I move that doesn't gonna really affect the hands here? Lock that in. Guess I could probably do a little bit of translate. Z. A little bit there. Let's make sure we zero out everything else here. reason I'm just not hitting S and I'm doing key selected is just that not all the attributes are locked in. Just this one particular one. Alright, and now I should be able to just grab these couple of keys that I want to vary and do a little more there. Let's see. Now let's grab these guys. Maybe we can do bit of movement. I could do something with the butt controller. I don't think that would vary up too much. So we want to tuck it in here, push it out there, tuck it in here, push it out there, tuck it in here, and bring it back again. Still the basic part of the back isn't getting too much movement here. So let's see. Let's add some help to it. So let's see, what if we just did a little bit of rotate X here. Back again. X here, back again, X here, and back again. Let's make sure that rotate Z, I'll clean that up there, and rotate X, okay, wow, kind of biffed that one, huh? Okay, so we got 10, and 20, I want to key one in there. And a 30, bring that in, 40, that one, 50, that one, and back again. And let's look at the spine here. And we just do this every, 10 frames? Come on, other way, come on, come on. There you go. Alright, so like I said, super sensitive controller. It's hard to deal with sometimes, so I'm just going to do key selected for the rest of these just so I don't have to fight with that very sensitive controller there. And then back again. Okay, and we're just going to try and basically offset what we did with the hips here. Bring that back here and keep this pretty rigid with the amount of movement and pretty balanced and evened out here, but this way we might be able to get at least a little bit of movement throughout the back there. Just don't want it to stay too rigid here. Okay, we'll probably exaggerate it a little bit more, so let's amp up this portion and amp up that portion a little bit more. Alright, let's do a play blast now here. Alright, starting to come together now that we add that little bit of spine movement. Feels a lot better. I think we could probably tone down the butt a little bit more. I think we need to keep the feet planted for another 2 frames and do some tweaking with the posing on the wrist at that back extreme a little bit more. Okay, so what do we say? So tone down the butt controller. So I'll just scale back a little bit. And see if we can keep the feet planted on the ground for about 2 more frames. So zero that out. just extending the feet. We're feeling a little floaty for getting off of there. So let's keep those flat on the ground a little bit more. Okay, and the other thing we want to do is tweak the posing of the wrists on that back frame here. Should be 15. So we want to start doing a little bit like that. Okay. And then the next one would be 35 and then 55. Okay, that stuff should feel better now. So let's do another play blast now. Alright, now the other thing I'm thinking is we need to take this back extreme on the feet and give us one more frame before we hit that. I feel like the hands are alright, and I think I want to vary the height of the feet a little bit more, just to add some more variety there. Hands feel okay. They're not perfect, but at least I don't feel like they're too broken. The feet feel like they're a little too even though. So I wanted to grab both of those and then just a 5 frame and the 25 and 45, I believe. And just give us one more frame to get there. Ever since we added that hold for an extra 2 frames, it felt like it was a little too long. Now we still want to make sure that we're getting that frame where everything is not touching the ground here. We're getting pretty close to losing it though, so gotta be careful there. Okay, it still works. Because that nothing's really touching at that point. Okay, and the other thing I want to do is just vary some of the height of each of the steps at the extremes here. So I'll put that one up a little bit higher and that one a little bit lower. And this one. We can go a little bit lower here just to vary the height between the two. This one could be a little bit higher. And that last one could be a bit higher as well. Just so we get some height variation between the steps and maybe a little bit variation on the rotate as well. Since we're not really doing a timing variation here, we want to try and get some variation between the feet and our posing here. And we'll look at this one. We still have to be careful that we're not intersecting through the ground plane though at those other times. I feel like that's alright. A little more variation between the two. I do want this pose is way too extreme, so we'll want to go a lot less with it. Ooh, what's that? Okay. Ooh, some noise went on there. Whatever that was. Okay, so let's go ahead and save our file. We'll do another play blast here. Okay, we added a little bit of that movement to the head. We varied a little bit of the steps as well. The other thing I want to do is just get into some fingers, and then we're probably hitting pretty close to our hour mark for the day, so I'll probably have to wrap it up, even though I think we could probably spend another hour and a half or so cleaning this up and making it a little bit tighter. I think we got somewhere with that. It's good. Sometimes, like I said, I do these live with you guys every day, and every once in a while I got to a point where I'm like, how am I going to get something that actually feels decent out, and luckily I think we hit the mark here somewhere. So we're just going to do some stuff with the fingers. And we wanted to hit at, will be 20 frames from that, will be 28, and then 48. That's 68, right? That'll bring us back to where we were before. And hold 15 to 35 until 55. And we'd want to go at 19. Let's do a little bit of curl in here. And then at 24, go out a little bit. And then in a little bit. Out a little bit. In a little bit. The B. Out a little bit. Okay, and then we'll take all the stuff on the index finger, and we'll push it forward a frame, and all the stuff on the pinky. And push it back a frame. Actually, I think I did it the other way around. I think I went back a frame when I meant to go forward a frame. Oh. Redo. I stepped a little too far back. Okay. And now let's go index. Push it forward a frame. No, I did that right. Oh well. Redo it, that's fine. And pinky. And we'll delay it a frame. And then let's take all the B's and C's. whole lot of this of stuff with these controllers, but a little bit might be fun. So we keep it down till 4. Lock it in. 18. Then would be 24. And 38. And 44. And 58. And back again. Okay. So we'll go at 9. And we'll do a little bit of curl here. And then at 16, we'll do a little bit of curl up. So 9, that'd be 29. We'll do a little bit of curl in. And 36, we'll do a little bit up. 49 will go in. 56 will go up. And then we'll have the pinky. Delete a frame. And take all of the B's. And we'll delay those a frame as well. And let's leaf through it and see how it feels. Maybe you can loosen up those toes a little bit more. And then let's do 13. We'll go up on the toe here. And 17 will zero out. And then 23. No, 33. We'll go up on the toe here. And 37. Zeroed out. And then 53. Go up on the big toe here. And 57. And zeroed out here. Okay, let's look at that thumb toe here. Make sure that works out right. And we'll take the thumb B and delete one frame. And just mixes that up a little bit more. And then let's look at the thumb here. Let's just do the thumb spread. We'll have it drag back here and have it curl in 18 and 38. Curl in and thumb spread back. And at 58 as well. In and thumb spread back. Okay, and we'll look at the thumb curl and the thumb spread on both sides. We'll try and clean that up a little bit more. I think we need to do it. No, that's right. Okay. I was seeing if we need to add one more key there. we're starting up. We biffed there a little bit. Okay. We'll rotate it closed here. And then at 15, we'll have it drag. And I'll switch back and forth a little bit between that and that. Makes it look like the hairs in the face. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn our nerve curves off here. And let's go ahead and do a play blast and see if there's anything else we want to touch up before we call it for today. Alright, definitely, like I said, we could spend another hour and a half cleaning this up, but I think we got something that's usable. So let's just do our last finishing touches, and I think we'll call it for today. So let's save our file one more time. I'll go ahead and turn our grid off here, create a new perspective there, and I'll create polygon primitives. We'll do a cylinder here. Zero it out underneath there. And we'll make sure that we move that forward a little bit more, I think. Probably move it a little bit back here. And then we'll go ahead and copy that and paste another one. Scale it up a little bit. Shrink it down. Down a little bit more. Another one, and we'll scale that one up and in, and then we'll grab the outer one and the inner one, and we'll assign a new material to it. Put Lambert on there, and we'll make it green. Dark green. Push this one down a little bit more. I think we need that Lambert to be a little more muted. Something more like that. And then we'll go ahead and create another polygon primitives cube just for a background here. And we'll assign a new material to that. Just so the characters sit in something a little bit better. And let's go back to our original perspective. And let's do a play blast of that as well. Alright, like I said, we could definitely spend another probably hour and a half cleaning this up and polishing it up, but I think we got something workable for today's animation time. So let's take a look back at where we started. We're looking at the beautiful work of Chris Bachalo. He said, I do believe in the magic that goes into creating something wonderful. And I gotta agree, I think oftentimes we're focused on, or maybe I'm just talking about myself, but maybe you guys can relate as well, focus on understanding the fundamentals and really learning and growing and studying other people's work and trying to push yourself and trying to put that effort in and that 10,000 hours and all of that stuff. But I think sometimes we have to remember that there's a little bit of magic in there. So you want to try and learn as much as you can and be in a good place mentally and fill your mind with good influences and good inspirations, so that flow of magic can go through you a little bit easier when you hit that right spot with your creations. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. You guys are amazing. I love you lots. I hope that you took another step in your journey towards mastering whatever medium it is that you're passionate about. And I think that'll wrap it up for today. Fun stuff with the Hulk. Definitely had a little more counter animating in today's video than usual, so it took a little bit longer, but I think we still were able to get something that workable out of it. So with that being said, I guess this wraps it up for today, so we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.